Hi there, you're probably not gonna believe me, but
You're watching the first ever TikTok that's longer than a minute.
And if you don't believe me, well, here is a timer, and I will give you a participation medal at the end. Okay.
Let's begin.
But in the meantime, here's some monkey facts to keep you entertained.
Okay, monkeys can understand written numbers and can even count. They can also understand basic parts of arithmetic and even, in rare cases, multiplication.
Okay, next, Uncle Fat is a morbidly obese monkey in Thailand who gorged himself on junk food and soda that tourists had left behind. As the leader of this troop, the gluttonous monkey had subordinate monkeys bringing him goodies?
Nah, there's no way this is real. What?
He looked exhausted. Obese monkey Uncle Fatty, who became a star after being sent to fat camp, is missing and feared dead after falling off the wagon.
What did I just stumble across?
Oh my God.
Okay, I've decided to take the rest of the time for this TikTok to do a documentary on Uncle Fatty, so...
The disappearance of Uncle Fatty, a Ben of the Week original.
July 8th, 2019. The Sun reports the long-tailed macaque. Macaque. The long-tailed macaque, who ballooned to the size of 2 monkeys, was sent to a weight loss camp in 2017, but went back to his old ways once home in Bangkok, Thailand. Bangkok. Macaque. Uncle Fatty piled on the weight over his many years after being fed high-calorie food by tourists visiting the Kun Kala monument. Environmentalists monitoring his progress after weight loss camp say the last time he was seen alive was on February 26. Locals asked the police to check the CCTV footage, but have still been unable to identify the body. It is now feared that Uncle Fatty has either become lost, relocated to a new area, or even been killed. The chunky monkey's body has not been found! However, with local legends saying the forest reclaims bodies of the monkeys after they die. Aw. Kavinafat Mongol Tekachat, the president of the We Love Monkey Club. No! How is this real? President of the We Love Monkey Club said our staff always saw him sitting in the front of the monument every time they came to feed the pack, but one day he was just gone. Pause. What is the We Love Monkey Club? Documentary over.
We Love Monkey Club. Oh, it literally doesn't. There's no We Love Monkey Club. Okay, but what is this video?
Who loves pizza? Let's go to the pizzeria. Yeah. Mamma mia, I love pizza.
As you sit here with 20 seconds left on the TikTok clock, did you think this is where this TikTok was gonna go? Did you think you were gonna watch a documentary about a fat monkey in Bangkok, Thailand, and then watch me dance to a song by Cheeky Monkey Club? No. But here we are, and here's your medal. I'm proud of you. Welcome to the family.
Oh my God. What the hell?
I was enjoying some banana on the cob and scrolling through TikTok when I saw someone playing this Mario Kart in real life game. So I took my friend's credit card and ordered it. But when it came in the mail and I actually got to open it up and play it, the game was about as fun as listening to Ed Sheeran out of your own free will. So not fun at all. But you know what? It was okay, because I bought it for the only purpose of seeing if I could take it through a drive-thru and ordering something. So I strapped my credit card to it and a walkie-talkie so that I can order through the microphone. And I taped it to Luigi really good and then drove all the way over to Popeyes. And it was time to release Luigi and see if I could successfully order a fry. I set everything up, and then just like that, the little Italian was off. But as he drove up to the microphone, I didn't think they could see him, so at first I did some donuts to get their attention. And then as I was spinning him around, they were like... And I was about to tell them my order when I saw there was a car coming into the drive-thru. I panicked and grabbed my Switch to try and drive away, but it said it was disconnected, so I ran over to the drive-thru and... Our favorite plumber Luigi was killed by a Mitsubishi. Anyways, the funeral is on Monday. Please comment your condolences if you would like to attend. I was eating some raw chicken sushi when out of the corner of my eye, I saw a furry and then another furry. So I got up to see what was going on and followed them, and then there was 10 furries and 20 furries and hundreds of furries, and I realized there was a whole furry convention at the mall I was at. But then I remembered I just didn't pay at the restaurant, and I heard them say on the intercom,
in the Grace Vita, the police would like a word with you.
And I was like, Jesus Christ, I need to get out of here. But these furries were everywhere. And I tried to sneak into this dark warehouse, but there was a rave going on inside, so I found a door to the outside, but it was raining and had no exit and no hope until I saw someone's left behind fursuit on the ground with some stains in it. But I had no other way to escape, so I put it on to try and blend in and re-enter the mall and saw so many horrifying things and still couldn't find the exit and was getting actual heat stroke, so I decided to just turn myself in. So I went up to a cop and said, I'd like to turn myself in, and it was a damn Zootopia cop! So I just bolted out of that lawless wasteland and jumped over furries to find a fire exit and made it out and stripped down and threw my suit in the river! I'm in North Korea right now, because last week I was just making some delicious corn dog sushi in Japan, and before I could take a bite, I heard the nuclear missile warnings go off because Kim Jong-un was having a hissy fit, and I spilled my corn dog sushi because of him. But as I was hiding underneath the table about to be vaporized, that's when I realized North Korea is only 2 hours away, so I bought a Kit Kat because Kim Jong-un needs to take a freaking break, and a ticket to North Korea, so I can tell him to stop doing that. Anyways, I went to the airport, and the plane was either on fire or someone just had a vape. But anyways, once I landed, I immediately got on this bus, and the soldiers boarded the bus and checked my documents, and then I was sent through this underground tunnel underneath the border, and then I emerged at Kim Jong-un's palace, and it was pretty cute for a warmongering dictator. I walked up to the gate and gave it a good old knock, but no one was home, I guess, so I was just walking around when I heard a security alarm go off, and I scrambled to find a place to hide, so I ducked into this cubbyhole and hid there until they were gone. And then I snuck out into the bushes and spent hours trying to return to civilization, and I ate some blueberries that weren't blueberries. But hours later, I finally found my way out and decided to give up on world peace and just eat the Kit Kat because I was hungry. Sorry, Kimmy. Stop. I don't know if you remember, but 5 years ago today, Harambe the gorilla was D-worded. So I decided to take a quick trip to infiltrate the Cincinnati Zoo, because I think he might still be alive and the whole thing was a publicity stunt. Anyways, when I got there, I did a bird call to attract some birds to land on me as a disguise, and it worked. A bunch of gay chickens landed on me and I had the perfect disguise. I was walking around looking like a zoo employee, which let me sneak into the employees only area with no suspicion. I was walking around in the back rooms when I tried saying hi to the employees, but they were busy cleaning fish doogie, so I stopped to pet some stingrays because I couldn't find Harambe's enclosure, and then I pet some sharks, and they were so cool, just like a little bit slimy. And then I saw some jellyfish, and they're so pretty, so I reached in to pet. Where am I? The place you go when you pet a jellyfish, stupid. Oh, well, let me... I opened my window for the first time in weeks today to collect a bunch of my fly friends. But they were being very lazy, so I decided to harvest them and put them to work. For example, say I don't want to pay for my $21 breakfast burrito, I simply call my fly babies into battle and leave a body on the plate when I'm finished. Sometimes, for good measure, I'll even put one in the water. Then I call over the manager and tell him that there is not only a fly in my food, but I am gravely allergic to the fly. Then when the bill comes, I change the total to a negative, and then they pay me back. Another great reason why you should always carry a bag of dead flies with you is for retail therapy. I want to treat my mom with some makeup, so I simply find a tester and drop a quick friend on it. Then I take it to the front counter and tell them that I could have put a fly in my mom's eye. Then they give it to me for free, and I go about my day. But guess what? It even works at Olive Garden. After I'm seated, finally, I get my free breadsticks, and I take one into the bathroom and sacrifice one of my babies for the cause. Then once the fly is on the breadstick, I exit the bathroom and walk over to the management and tell them that there is a fly on my breadstick. And boom, refund. So next time you're looking at the poor lost holes on your windowsill, just say, come on, man, it's time to scam. Last weekend, me and some pals and Mr. Beast gathered around to sacrifice a giant minion for fun. But after we killed it to death, I was like, now what? And Mr. Beast said,
Dave is finally dead. So is this stupid trend.
But I thought to myself, that's kind of awkward, because to me it wasn't a trend, and I got a giant minion tramp stamp tattoo a few days before. And I was so embarrassed that I got in my car and drove around looking for a laser tattoo removal place, but the only one that I could find in my town went out of business when they accidentally cut someone's leg off. And it also looks like the back room, so I ordered a tattoo laser gun off of Shein. And when it arrived a week later, I got ready to use it after accidentally burning a hole in my eyeball, but I reached behind me and started burning it off, and it smelled like burnt chicken for about an hour, but I thought it was essentially gone. Until I was at Walmart a week later when I saw this lady dropped her toe fungus medication, and when I bent down to pick it up for her, the scar popped out and she screamed and thought I had monkeypox, and I was like, shut the hell up, wordy ass bitch. Let's see those toes you need to scream for. I was joining some random Zoom calls today so I could make some friends. But after accidentally joining an Amish colony Zoom, I accidentally joined this Zoom call with this guy in it. And I was like, who's that? Until I realized I had joined a call with Dr. Fauci, the chief medical advisor to the president. And then I looked in the mirror to make sure I didn't look like a cockroach. And then as soon as I looked presentable, I grabbed my laptop and brought it out to the living room. And then I joined the call and I was like, how are you, Dr. Fauci? And he said,
I'm good, Ben. Nice to be with you. How you doing?
And then I froze and tried to think of like a question about COVID or something. And that's when I remembered my uncle texting me out of the blue saying that there's pee in the vaccine. So I was like, let me set the record straight. So I asked him,
the vaccine looks like it's just a few drops of water, and I feel like a lot of people don't really know what's actually going on in there.
What vaccine did you get, Ben?
I'm Moderna.
I got Moderna too. So,
okay.
So when you and I got injected, what happened? It went into the muscle. The body recognizes the protein of that virus and neutralizes it.
I feel like that was like a crash course and a PhD in biology, but it all made sense. I figured it out.
Well, you heard it from the White House. Bet of the week. The vaccines are safe. Go get it, please. Today I went to go get the Moderna vaccine, and it hurt a little bit when they gave it to me, but afterwards I went home and I took the band-aid off. But as I was peeling it off, I noticed something hard was underneath. And when I pulled it out and looked at it, I saw a microchip. I'd been microchipped. I thought that was fake. But I had to get to the bottom of this. So I grabbed a microchip adapter and put it in my phone, and a folder came up saying, "We see you." And in it was a picture that said, "Meet Candace at 42 Wallaby Way at 2 p.m. And I was really scared, but the next day I went to the address on my bike, and it ended up taking me to this huge building, and I found my way in. But as I was looking around, there was no one there, so I shouted, "Candace! Who's Candace?" But all of a sudden the lights went out, and I felt something grab me. Next thing I knew, I woke up in a chair tied up. I was so confused, and I shouted, "Who is Candace? What is Candace?" Then out of the darkness, he appeared, and he said,
Candace
I use my mom's Facebook Marketplace for buying clothes and organs sometimes, but today I saw that Taylor Swift's private jet was selling for $1,000 because she got in trouble for flying them every single day or something. But I thought, I'll take it, and I messaged them and hurried to the bank to take out $1,000 in cash. And I brought it to the address, which was her own airline hangar, and when I arrived, I saw the plane, and I took a bunch of pictures in front of it and then went through her makeshift security. But when I got there, there was a little party going on, and I was like, oh, fun, and I participated in the party, but then it got a little rowdy, and I asked, can I own this plane still? And it turns out some rappers bought it before I could and started filming a music video in it. But I was still bitter from being outbid, so I pulled the emergency latch and breached the airlock, and now I have the whole plane to myself.
Hey guys, just got first class, and they gave us free orange juice, free a little mask that come down and put you to sleep.
I was watching my comfort movie Pitch Perfect on HBO Max for the 7th time today because it's the only thing that makes me feel alive. But then as I was watching it, I got the idea that since I'm a talentless blob of bones and skin, I should learn how to play the cups. So I grabbed a bunch of wine glasses to spice it up, and I invented the glass song, and I spent days studying Pitch Perfect on HBO Max, perfecting my talent so that I could get so good so I could perform for the world to see. So I started to print out flyers, and then I went to the first stop of my glass song world tour in Paris. And when I got there, I stuck flyers everywhere to really get the word out about my show. But then as I was doing my sound checks on the day of my performance, I got a little too carried away and... So anyways, I'm just gonna stick to watching Pitch Perfect on HBO Max, and you should too. I was at the Tokyo Olympics gym today training for all the sports I'm gonna get a gold medal in. But in the middle of me training, this Edna Mode looking person came over to me, and I thought they were gonna say you aren't allowed to put the big balls in your shirt and steal them. So I was getting ready to sprint away, but they actually just complimented my phone case. And I was like, oh, did you mean my Caseify case with fun little moons on it that keeps my phone safe while also looking cute? Available in so many fun different customizable designs. But I realized I didn't actually say it out loud, so I was like, thanks. And then they asked if my phone case had moons on it because I like astrology. And I was like, yeah. And then they were like, oh, what sign are you? And then I told them I'm a virgin. Oh. And then I realized I meant to say Virgo, and I just made this person think I've never gotten any action. Anyways, you can get 15% off your very own Caseify case with the code 15HighBen. They are great, and I highly recommend. I'm gonna go cry in the corner now. Bye. I was so excited today to see Harry Styles in that new movie that he's in today. So I went to the theater and snuck in my own snacks because a hot dog is $12, but a pea and ketchup sandwich is $2. But as I was enjoying my delicious meal, they flashed an ad for like 30 seconds saying, bring blood to bathroom stall 4. And I looked around the theater and like, no one was fazed by this. So I sat through the movie, but Harry Styles wasn't the only thing making me feel curious. So I left as the credits rolled. And I went to the bathroom and I didn't think anyone was in there, but I found stall number 4 and I went in and locked the door behind me, and there was a guy asking for the blood, I guess, and I wasn't about to give him my blood, but I remembered that I had my ketchup still, so I poured some on a piece of toilet paper and I handed it to him, and it turns out the guy in the stall was actually just out of toilet paper and needed some, and I don't know what the cult stuff was about, but I'm now about to be murdered. People always ask me, Ben, how is your skin so bright and shiny? So instead of gatekeeping my skincare routine, I'd tell them, Curology's personalized skincare formula. What I meant to say is, I use Curology's customized skincare formula to keep my skin healthy. My family's used Curology for generations and passed it along to me. Just kidding, they probably use laundry detergent to wash their face, and that's why my uncle's cousin has 3 eyes. Anyways, I live in the future where all I have to do is send my selfies over to Curology and let my provider know what my skin situation is. And that's how I got my first month of customized skincare for free, plus shipping and handling. Every night I wash my face with a cleanser and then apply my customized skin cream that was prepared just for me. Then I finish it off with a rich moisturizer, and voila, my skin is bright and shiny. Isn't that right, clone, that I gave a 3rd-degree sunburn to? I can only fall asleep to loud noises, so tonight I played some mukbang videos on full volume. And I also tried blasting that one girl who goes, in all of her songs, and I was about to go to sleep like a baby when I heard a banging at my door, and I realized it was probably my insane neighbor who was literally named Karen. But when I got up and put clothes on and walked down to the door, there was nothing but an envelope that said, use these. So I brought it inside and opened it up, and she had sent me her nasty, crusty, earwax-covered AirPods that smelled like Fritos. And at first I was like, this is a human rights violation, and I'm probably diseased now. Until I saw the opportunity to suit up in a hazmat suit and rinse the brain caca off of them so that they look new, and then I could sell them to someone in my neighborhood for a profit. So I made a listing for like $150, and this one dude said he would buy it if I could meet him by the nuclear waste runoff. So I Ubered over there, and when I got there, I saw a bunch of money just sitting under some leaves, and I was like, that's not the safest way to do a transaction. But regardless, I just sprinkled the AirPods by it and then went home with $150 in like 4 different currencies. But it's okay, because I just ordered a bass-boosted speaker with the money from the AirPods. And when it comes to have a big old party, and blast music with a speaker courtesy of Karen. I was cleaning my room today when I found out that I just hit 10 million followers. And to celebrate, I wanted to give each and every one of you $1. Now, I don't have $10 million, but you know who does? The bank. So I went over there and had the idea to R to the O to the B it, but quickly realized that I get too anxious simply going to Starbucks and ordering for myself without nearly peeing my pants. So walking into a bank to commit a crime is kind of out of the question. So my second idea was to make an Ed Sheeran disguise that is so convincing it looks like a deep fake. So I taped it to my face and I used this simple hack that works on any ATM machines where you can type in the number of the address where the ATM is, like 900 for example, and then it'll think it's undergoing maintenance and spit out all its cash. So I tried it and boom, I suddenly had $20,000. And I stopped at each and every ATM punching the code getting racks when I remembered they have security cameras, and even though I was disguised as Ed Sheeran, I wanted to be safe, so I gently disconnected the camera from the ATM and put it on the ground. And for the rest of the night, I'd never felt more alive, single-handedly taking down the greedy banks to steal from customers every single day. I was calculated, unstoppable, careful. And I did it all right under the police's noses. It became addicting. Every single ATM was like a new hit. And the money? Oh, it was endless. Ed Sheeran had to go on live TV to say he wasn't the thief. And I had gotten away with it. Oh, wait, just kidding. They actually got me. Well, at least I still have money for bail, and I still have 10 million of you guys. Today, I threw away all my electronics so I could join the Amish and live a simple life. But after about 10 minutes, I got really bored of harvesting wheat and apples and wanted to watch a good old YouTube video. But I didn't have any devices to watch YouTube on, so I obviously walked over to the YouTube headquarters. And when I got there, I managed to walk right in, and I found an empty room with a TV in it so I could watch a few videos from my personal collection. Anyways, after I had cured my boredom, I left the room and raided the YouTube fruit counter and grabbed an orange and an apple and a DVD copy of the videos I watched. But when I finally got home, I realized I can't play this because I don't have a record player. But I looked around my room and saw an old radio speaker thing and popped the CD in it just so I could listen to the audio and imagine the video in my mind. But when it started playing, it sounded like it was coming from outside my house, and that's when I realized I had it set to broadcast. And I ran outside to see every radio in the vicinity was playing. Every day I bike past this fenced-off neighborhood near me that's radioactive from a nuclear meltdown. But today I decided to explore it, so I went through a gap in the fence, and after walking for about 10 minutes, I got to this mysterious door in the middle of nowhere, so I did a little knock and let myself in and closed it behind me to be polite to the radiation. Anyways, I went down the stairs and saw, some interesting artifacts that I was not exactly a fan of. And I continued through the bunker and found a very inviting door that made me feel super safe, which led to more stairs that had my knees cracking like Rice Krispies. Anyways, I eventually got to this tunnel and some doors at the end of it that said danger, do not enter. But I went in because my middle name is Danger. Just kidding, it's Emil. And after I went through the door, it closed behind me and I tried everything but couldn't open it up because it was locked. So I decided to look around and see what my grave location was gonna look like, thinking maybe it's a movie theater or a game room. And I turned the lights on to see that it was an actual nuclear missile silo where they held the nukes. And it went 100 feet down, and now this is where I live, I guess. And my phone is on 1% uploading this TikTok, so if you see this, that's the last time you're gonna... Today I was flying over North Korea and trying to sleep even though there was a baby screaming behind me because it shat itself. But what really kept me awake was a song started playing that plays in like all those plane crash TikToks. And then the plane started shaking and the seatbelt sign turned off. And the plane was shaking so much that it spilled water all over my no-no square. And I thought, if this plane is going down, I'm not about to be found dead looking like I peed myself. So I snuck into the bathroom even though it said seatbelts on. And I grabbed some paper towel and tried to dry it off. But it was shaking so much that I just went back to my seat. And that's when I realized the music was coming from the stupid baby behind me's iPad because it knocked its AirPods AirPods off from starting so aggressively. So I tried to lean between the seats to turn it off, but I couldn't reach it, so I called over the flight attendant and asked if we could just throw the child out of the airlock, but she didn't speak English and just gave me almonds. So I peacefully lost my mind for 7 hours, and when I landed, I saw the most nasty little starter and chased after it because it left its iPad behind, but when I touched it, there was literal baby food on it, and I dropped it and cracked the screen. And then I picked it up again to check if it was working and saw the lock screen, and it jump scared me and I dropped it again. Whoops! Today I was in my car when I saw that the Amish were doing a pop-up shop, so obviously I had to go check it out because I don't believe that they're real. And when I pulled up to Simply Amish, I put my mask on because I don't want to give the entire colony the plague or something. And when I walked in, the employee was on a computer, and I was like, that's strange, they're not even supposed to have electricity. But I was walking around, and at first it seemed like a really expensive furniture store, and I was like, damn, these Amish are gonna be ballin'. But then I came across this door that was half open, which led to this scary basement that had all of these artifacts and paintings of Jesus, and then randomly a Rick and Morty Chia Pet, and some cards that I don't think are Amish appropriate, and then a Queen's Gambit board game, which... wouldn't that just be chess? Anyways, I felt the need to buy something so the Amish don't steal my organs. I got one of those popping toys where you put it on the ground and... Anyways, when I paid and got the bag, I noticed they slipped a key in it with a note saying, need escape? And then some coordinates, which I looked up online and found out they lead to their colony. So I think they tried recruiting me, and let me know if I should drive up there and join. I was scrolling through the deep web when I saw an ad for a GoFundMe to get the Queen an air fryer before she dies. So I went to it and saw no one had donated. So I gave her $5 and went to bed. But when I woke up the next morning, I got an email that it was shut down by GoFundMe. And I knew the Queen still needs an air fryer, so I packed my bags and went to the airport to book the next flight to London to bring her an air fryer that I bought for her. And after 10 hours, I landed and Ben was in the Big Ben. So I took the train to the Buckingham Palace where she lives. But when I got there, they had it gated off and I couldn't go in to see the Queen. So I found another entrance with a flimsy little fence that I slid under, and then I popped over another fence, but that triggered an alarm. So I was running as fast as I could, and I happened to drop the air fryer, but I had to hide, so I managed to find the Queen's quarters and snuck in, and I thought I was safe until... I woke up on some cliffs, on an island with nothing but a note on my arm that said,
Please, they won't let me air fry.
Elizabeth, I will save you. I was trying to sell my kidneys on the black market when I got an ad for Shein Eats, and apparently they sell food now. So I ordered some Mexican food because I was really hungry. But when it arrived, it came in what looked like a reused tissue box, and it had a fragile sticker, but it was looking more like a burrito bowl at this point. Anyways, I compared it to the picture in the ad, and it looked nothing like it. But the worst part is there was corn in it, and I'm allergic. And I was beyond mad, so I looked at the shipping label, and it said it was shipped all the way from China. So you know what I did? I was on that next flight to China, and after I boarded the plane next to the world's biggest Facebook mom with this suitcase, the food was actually pretty good, a little bit better than Shein's. But anyways, when I landed, I remembered it was the Olympics here in Beijing, so I decided to go to that instead of getting revenge on Shein. Happy Valentine's Day. I was about to devour the souls of some poor shrimp when I realized they still have their heads on. So I ripped the head off and then ate the shrimp, but then I remembered it's only a matter of time before the FBI catches me for replacing their website with a chicken wing video. So I decided I'll make a shrimp army. So I put the shrimp heads in a bag, and then I drove home and cut some lemons and put the shrimp heads on some sticks attached to the lemons so they would stand up. Then I placed the soldiers all around my house, and they were all standing guard ready to protect me. I felt so safe with my shrimp army watching guard. So I went to the kitchen to make a salmon burger, but then I remembered salmon is seafood, shrimp is seafood. My shrimp army turned around in shock and horror when they saw what I was about to do. I tried telling them I'm sorry, but they were angry and were inching closer towards me. I didn't know what they were gonna do with me, so I picked them up by their shrimp antennas and spun them like a lasso above my head, and I flung them into the sky. The battle had been won. Every year since, I visit the graves where the battle took place. I pay my respects and apologize for being so shellfish. So I was trying to make carbonated mayonnaise with my mom's soda stream, and although it splattered everywhere, I had the idea. What if I made a meal with every single expired thing in my house? There are children with no food starving somewhere, and if I can reduce my waste, well, they'll probably still be starving, but at least no food will be wasted. First, I grabbed an onion that's been sitting behind the toilet for some reason for 5 years. I chopped it up and cried because it's an onion, and then I smelled it and it smelled like Shrek's toast, so I threw up. I put the onion in a bowl, and then I grabbed Aunt Jemima syrup. It expired 3 years ago, but Miss Jemima doesn't look a day over 60. I poured the syrup on the onions and then grabbed a bean curd snack. It said it was expired, so I threw it in the bowl anyways. Then I grabbed a frozen glove of beans and tried to break it open, but I had to use a shovel and I ended up just cutting off a bean finger. But I wanted lots, so I just threw the whole thing in. And I finished it off with some chia seeds that expired in 1998. How have they not become chia trees yet? Then I threw it in the microwave. Haha, beans in the microwave. And I gave it 100 minutes. I tried eating it, but unsurprisingly, I threw up after mixing every rotten thing in my house together. Okay, love you, bye. Do you ever scroll through Instagram all day like a Cocomelon iPad baby until you see that you're somehow on Christian Mingle and you've matched with the mom from Wizards of Waverly Place? But then when you switch back to Instagram, it's down and you're like, what am I gonna do now? Well, that happened to me, so I thought, well, may as well join the Amish. So I went to their website, which I was surprised they even had in the first place, and I signed myself up and gave them my address and my social security number, which I didn't really know why they needed that, but anyways, later that day someone rang my doorbell and slipped a business card under the door, and when I picked it up, it had a number on it, so I texted the number, and I decided to ask them, so what's it like being in the Amish? And they replied, we are in Spain. And I was like, oh my god, I didn't know they had the Amish in Spain. So you know what I did? I booked the next flight to Barcelona to try and join them. But when I finally got there, I turned my phone off airplane mode and the text came in, and it turns out he actually said they are in pain, not Spain, because they have no electricity, and well, sucks to be y'all, I'm in Spain. Ole, 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 ole. Today was my first day working at Starbucks, and I was making a garbage water frappuccino. Until I realized this isn't a Starbucks, everything is fake. I'm in a fake Starbucks in IKEA. I ran as fast as I could to escape the fake Starbucks, and when I finally got out, I realized I still don't have a job. How am I gonna get enough money to buy a Shrek cardboard cutout? So I made a resume, even though I have 0 qualifications. I got in my car and drove to the haircut store, but they wouldn't hire me because they saw me give myself a bad quarantine haircut. So then I drove over to the grocery store, and then I was looking for the manager until some dude coughed in my face. I wiped the diseases off my face and then ran to my car to apply hand sanitizer. But I didn't realize I had a cut on my finger. It burned so bad that I passed out, but I was still driving my car and it rolled off by itself. When I woke up, I had no clue where I was. And my car was out of gas. I got out and realized I was in the middle of nowhere, but then I remembered I can just check my GPS and how did I end up in North Korea? Today I went to go see Billie Eilish at Coachella, but before she came on, there was this dude wearing a big sparkly onesie who opened for her that kept staring at me, and I was thinking to myself, what's up, do you have a staring problem, buddy? But anyways, he did a little dancey dance thing, and Shrek was in the audience and seemed to love it, but his cameraman kept getting in the way and then turned to me, and the next thing I knew, rewind that. He put me on the big screen, and I freaked out and went behind the cameraman and started unplugging random cables from his camera, and it turned off the video on the screen. But anyways, then Billie Eilish came on and kept invading my personal space and staring at me, and I was like, do celebrities never get taught that staring is rude? Why are you yelling at me? But then she did her little dancey dance and left the stage, and I took a golf cart home from Coachella, and when I woke up the next morning, I checked my phone to see a DM from Billie herself asking if I was at her show with a winky face. And I replied, no, silly Billie, here's a restraining order, leave me alone. And I went back to bed. I woke up at 4 a.m. to borrow some of my roommate's peanut butter today, but when I opened it up, I saw he's been scooping it out the jar in a really strange way, which is really inefficient because there's just more surface area for it to dry out. But anyways, I wanted to make a peanut butter and spray cheese sandwich, but I felt like I needed some raspberries, so as I was taking the bread out of the fridge, I knocked out the raspberries. But I believe in the 5-minute rule instead of the 5-second rule, so I scooped them up and assembled my delicious sandwich, and I added the raspberries and a nice little squirt of easy cheese, and then I took a big old bite, but I started feeling really funny, and I thought I was having an allergic reaction to the peanut butter. But then I remembered the raspberries were not exactly the freshest, and I just ate an ounce of all. So I grabbed my computer and tried to call poison control, but they were closed because of Thanksgiving, and I was like, damn, I'm really gonna puke my guts out because some white dudes wanted to have a feast after a mass genocide in 1621. So anyways, I decided I should probably write my will, and I opened up my notes app and said all my money in my plant collection and my life-size Zendaya cardboard cutout will go to my dog. Thank you and goodbye forever, I guess. Today, I'm giving $10,000 to the employees at my local Taco Bell. I pulled up to the window and said, hi, can I get a bean burrito, please? When I pulled up to the window, they gave me the burrito, and I gave them $2. What do I look like, Mr. Beast? Plus, this box has $30 in it max, just some Minecraft plush toys and a card if I ever went missing as a child. But then, as I was eating my Taco Bell burrito, I started feeling bad. Maybe the Taco Bell employees have little Taco Bell babies at home that need little Taco Bell diapers, or they'll shed their little Taco Bell tears. And I thought, I may not have $10,000, but I can show them I appreciate them. I went home, grabbed some markers, and decided to write a little card telling them how much I appreciate them on being on the front lines of this pandemic and everything. I also thought to add a little something else, since this is already a TikTok, for every 100K likes this video gets, I'll add $10 to the card, up to $100, because I really do not be Mr. Beast. I finished the card with some drawings of tacos, because I love tacos. And tonight, I'll head over to Taco Bell and drop it off. I'll see you in part 2 tomorrow. So, I dropped out of school to become a TikToker. But that won't stop me from joining random Zoom classes and destroying them. First, I hacked a math teacher's study session. She was not happy to see me.
Show me yourself or you're out.
We have infiltrated your computer. You must press Alt F4.
Get out.
You'll get out. This is my Zoom now.
I'm stopping the Zoom.
I'm stopping you. You're done.
Okay, then I decided I would impersonate a Zoom tech support agent and get a teacher to end their Zoom class.
Hi there, Mr. Bankston. I'm with Zoom technical support. We've been getting some DDoS attacks on certain streams. They've got like your Minecraft password, your Roblox password. So we might need this meeting to restart.
I don't actually have Minecraft or any of that.
They're currently on Minecraft servers impersonating you, from what the IT department has told me.
Okay, and you're not going to join it after I restart it?
No, absolutely not.
So I need everybody to log off. I'm going to end the meeting.
Dang it, we're out of time, but if you want to see them freak out, the link to the YouTube video is in my bio. Today, I'm surprising my mom with cooked snails for dinner. But these aren't normal snails. These are from the dollar store. So I had all the ingredients to make it into a pasta dish. So I opened up the can of snails and... It got in my eye! I got snail juice in my eye. So there's my nasty, smelly snails, and I put them in a bowl when I started on the pasta. We got noodles, tarragon, and pasta sauce, baby. I boiled some water and spilled half the pasta while it went in. And then it started boiling over, and I was panicking. But then I was draining it, and 3 noodles were getting stuck, and I was getting mad. Next, we were mincing garlic for the escargot, and it looked like little mini garlic noodles, love. Then I put it all together with the snails, garlic, blue cheese, tarragon, and threw her in the oven. I felt like Remy from Ratatouille, baby. Minus being the chef, I just felt like the rat. Then my mom got home. It's almost dinner time.
Smells good.
Guess what it is?
It smells like some sort of garlicky wine sauce.
Okay, but there's something else added. The link is in the bio if you want to see her get surprised with snails. Today, my Mima told me that she bought an NFT, and I was like, Mima, you just asked me if Mark Zuckerberg was my girlfriend. How do you know what an NFT is? So anyways, I was using one of those head massagers when I got a knock at the door, and when I answered, no one was there except for a box with a towel in it and some noodles, with a note that said, NFT, noodly fun towel. And it wasn't even fun, it was soaking wet in some mysterious liquid, and I was about to put it away in my closet when I got the idea that I could actually make it into an NFT and get some use out of it. So I made some room and I took a picture of it and made it look all pretty, and I minted it on Bubble House and made it free for a limited time. And I emailed her back and told her to go claim one before they're all gone. And even her bingo club can get one, and even you. And we can play bingo together on Bubble House with my Mima and her bingo group. I was really bored, so I tried to buy the most expensive thing on Gucci's website for funsies, but that's when I remembered, Ben, you can't afford Taco Bell. So I was typing random numbers, hoping one was an actual credit card number, and nothing was working. I was like, well, there goes my wool alpaca cardigan. Finally, I tried 69696969. Expiration date, April 20th, aka 420, and security code 666. And I hit enter. I was like, well, that was fun. So I closed my laptop, but then I got an email saying my order had shipped. And then suddenly, I heard a knock at the door, and I was like, I didn't know what I just did, so I checked my doorbell cam, and there was a stranger there. Then I heard the door open, and then there were footsteps coming towards me, and then falling. And then the intruder got up and said, "This is the FBI. We've got you." And I was like, "You've got me? You think you've been watching me? For the past month, I've had my FBI agent's laptop bugged. Every time he logs in to watch me, I've been watching him. In fact, I ordered this exact item knowing it would bring him here." He ran back to his HQ to open up his laptop, and in disbelief, there I was, fully in control of the FBI system. Checkmate. Oh my god, it's closed. Hey Siri, call Wendy's.
Killing Wendy.
No. I said cancel.
Would you like to cancel?
Yes.
Canceling your passport and birth certificate.
What? No! How did you have permission to do that?
Permission to leak your feed pics?
My feet? What?
Sending feed pics to everyone in your contacts.
How are you even doing this? This is illegal.
Something illegal is happening. Alerting the FBI.
Yeah, something illegal is happening. You just blew up that Wendy's.
Okay, should I send this to the FBI? I just blew up a Wendy's.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Did you say absolutely? Message send. Would you like to use your pics from the mugshot trend for when you go to prison?
No!
Kidnap Queen Elizabeth?
No, not Queen Elizabeth! I had just finished doodling all over my arms for 5 hours straight while watching the Minions movie. But then my arm started to burn, and I was like, it's fine, it's washable ink. So I quickly ran upstairs to my bathroom to wash it off, and it was permanent. The ink was now fused to my skin, and I could feel the doodles entering my bloodstream. But I got distracted and thought, doodle is such a funny sounding word. Like, you can't say doodle angrily. And then I realized my arms had fallen off. They were just on the floor staring back at me. How am I gonna deal with the spider colony in my bathroom? I'm gonna have to eat them to get rid of them. Actually, that wasn't too bad. It's a little bit crunchy and a little bit salty. How am I gonna drive to Taco Bell now? How am I gonna shop for mayonnaise? How will I put on hand sanitizer? Wait, I don't need hand sanitizer because I have no hands. I won't be catching no viruses. Hi, I'm Ben, and this is why you should chop off your arms. Hey y'all, I'm currently in the vegan teacher's basement, so I thought I'd give you a house tour. Here's a dining room table. It has "Don't Eat Cats" painted on it. Just a reminder if you're gonna do that today. Here are 2 fly swatters, which, I don't know if you can have that as a vegan, but whatever. Upstairs is the studio.
That's her exercise bike. She also streams here by putting her phone on a tripod, which is a wooden block from Home Depot with 3 nails in it. And this is her schedule, which starts at 5 in the morning to wake up and eat blueberries and chia seeds. Anyways, kitchen tour.
This is me, by the way. This horse, the horse's name was Ben. Doesn't mean I want to ride you, though.
Her fridge has like 4,000 vegetables and a pepperoni stick, which is really interesting. Don't ask any questions about it, otherwise...
Actually, stop filming for a second.
Okay. Anyways, welcome to the backyard. Here's some propaganda and military-grade security systems that fire tactical rounds if it sees you eating meat. And that's the tour of the happy vegan home that I'm so happy to be in the basement of. Today I woke up on Mr. Beast's 35-foot tall inflatable minion that I tried blowing up the night before with my lung, but my asthma kicked in and I passed out. But anyways, last week he was like,
"Hey Ben, can you make me the world's largest minion?"
But I hung up on him because he's not despicable enough. He's like the opposite. He's like philanthropicable. But he called back and I was like, he really is despicable. And I agreed to do it, and ever since then I have been making sure this minion is perfect. So I got the whole factory to line up and take turns blowing it up so I wouldn't be the only one passing out. And I tried to fashion together a giant suit to fit him, but I ran out of fabric and... But finally he was ready. The only problem was when I opened my trunk and tried to fit his body in it, which usually it can fit a few of those, he didn't fit. So I had to ship him in a truck, but I wanted to be along for the journey, so I snuck in while the back door was open and rode in that boy across America until we finally stopped, and I opened the door and... Hey.
Hey.
I got your minion.
Just put it over there.
Okay. I was making some pink sauce and pickles pasta and wanted some seasoning as a finishing touch. But I accidentally grabbed a jar of catnip thinking it was oregano and didn't notice until I woke up from a nap to meowing outside my window. And when I opened the door, I saw 40 cats outside my house and I thought it was the greatest day of my life until I met this musty stray who smelled like Fritos and he showed me this really cool trick called bite. And I thought, well, now I have rabies. So I scrambled to find someone to pee on the wound to neutralize it. But after that didn't work, I realized that's what you do for a jellyfish sting and not rabies. So I went to the pharmacy to see if I could find some medication for the bite, but I'm in Japan, so I just translated some medications and found this one that Google Translate says was rabies control. So I took it, and after a couple hours, my stomach started growing, and I realized it was babies control. And I was like, oh my god, the birth control malfunction made me fucking pregnant? Nah, I'm not pregnant, I just gained 10 pounds, because I like to collect mold off of my old moldy bread and put it in a baggie that I keep in my pocket, so whenever I'm out and about at an overpriced restaurant getting an overpriced $15 acai bowl, I can order one and then eat the whole thing, and then once I'm done, I take out my mold babies and pop one in so I can take it to the register and go full Karen mode and show them the mold, and then boom, baby! Refund. I've done this in the past with dead flies at Olive Garden, but I like having bread in my pocket instead of dead decaying flies. Anyways, I wanted to give my mom some makeup, so I tried it at Sephora by putting some mold in the makeup, and then I brought the sample to the manager, and I got a free one. And then I sanitized my hands to get the mold off, of course. Anyways, after Sephora, I really wanted some tortilla chips, so I grabbed a bag, opened it up, popped some mold in, and then boom! I took it to the cashier, and I got a refund, baby. And then when I got home, I took a bite and forgot to take the mold out! Boom, baby, mold poisoning. Today I made a fake plane ticket with my DIY skills so I could go to the Tokyo Olympics, because I think I'm really good at gymnastics. But the problem is Japan is only letting actual Olympic athletes go there because of COVID. So I finessed the system by buying a random plane ticket to Alabama so I could get into the airport. So once I got to the airport, I found the flight that was headed to Tokyo. And then I walked over to the gate to sit down and I crossed off Alabama on my ticket. And then I used it while they were boarding and I managed to board the flight to Tokyo. And after I took my seat, I was just sitting there realizing I'm really going to Japan, huh? And then we took off and I was enjoying the flight until I looked at the safety manual and saw that I was on one of those malfunctioning Boeing 737 MAX planes. You know, the ones that decide they want to be a car while in midair. And that's when I started feeling really bad turbulence. And then I remembered my phone wasn't on airplane mode. And then that's when it got really bad because the plane started falling apart. And all of a sudden the oxygen mask came down and I just accepted that the last song I'll have ever listened to in my life was Ed Sheeran. Anyways, the crowd was getting closer and closer. Oh, I actually just fell asleep. Anyways, now I'm in Tokyo. I was bored today, so I went to the mall to shoot boba tapiocas at strangers. But I didn't think I would actually hit someone, and they started chasing me, so I panicked and ran into the closest stairwell. And just when I thought I was safe, I somehow managed to drop my phone down the middle of the stairs. And I freaked out and ran to it to check if it was okay. And thankfully it was, because I had my Ultra Impact case from Casetify. The 4 shock-absorbing corner bumpers keep my phone safe, while still feeling sleek and not bulky. And now that I know that I can drop my phone from over 9 feet, I just drop my phone everywhere. Whenever I don't feel like bending down because my knees crack like celery every time I bend over to plug my phone into the wall, wall, I just drop it on the floor and it's 100% fine. And guess what? You can get your own for 15% off with the code 15HighBen. And together we can have knees like Megan Thee Stallion. Today I accidentally burned out my house because I was boiling Listerine and Red Bull to make delicious tea when I saw a wasp had waltzed into my house. And I'm extremely allergic, so I grabbed a container to try and capture him so I could send him back to hell. And I got him, but then I realized if I try and get the lid on, he's gonna fly out and sting me, and then I will end up in hell and he will haunt me forever. So I dropped it and I ran and grabbed a piece of paper and then I put it back on and slid it under. And I actually managed to pull out the paper and I had successfully abducted him. So I put him on a plate and microwaved him until he lit on. Just kidding. I realized I'll definitely go to hell if I do that, so I let him outside and carefully put him down and released the hatches, and he kicked it away. So then he got up and chased me inside, and I closed the door and I thought I was safe. And oh, I forgot to turn the stove burner off, and today I made a DIY North Korean driver's license by taking a picture with my iPad, and then I googled North Korean IDs and slapped my face on it. And I made it look all pretty by crossing this guy's name off and giving myself a fake name. But I didn't do this so I can get into a club or anything. I did it so that every day I can print a new one and change my birthday to today's date so I can get free stuff every single day like a Starbucks drink or make people be nice to me. Anyways, I first tested my ID at Olive Garden and the waiter got the whole restaurant singing happy birthday to me. But more importantly, I got a big old cannoli for free, baby. Anyways, next I went to Cheesecake Factory, and I showed my waitress my ID, thinking she would give me, I don't know, a cheesecake slice at Cheesecake Factory. But when she came to the table, she had all these cheesecake slices, and what did she give me? A bowl of berries. And I was like, oh, okay, I guess. But then she dropped the bill off and charged me $8 for the strawberries, when all I wanted was a slice of cheesecake for free, because they're like $10. So basically fake North Korean IDs don't work at Cheesecake Factory. Today I spent 9 hours painting Doja Cat, and it turned out so good that I decided to DM it to her. And she actually replied by saying, it's terrific. And I was just in disbelief that she replied, so I screenshotted it as fast as I could and posted it on my story to show all my friends. But after she saw it, she DM'd me a picture of the front of my house and my birth certificate. And when I said, yes it is Doja Cat, I saw she mentioned me in her story. And when I looked, she had posted both of those images on her story. And I was like, Doja, why would you do that? And then she went live and was very angry at me. And the next thing I knew, there were people banging on my front door, and then one of them threw something through my window, and I had no clue what it is, so I slowly approached it. But when I got too close, it started to fill my room with gas, and I heard on her live stream, and she said,
Careful of the tear gas, you're getting gas.
So I grabbed what I could and ran out of my house and saw a flyer on the telephone pole for witness protection. And I called them and had to throw away my passport and credit cards, and now I'm flying to New Zealand to start a new life. Thanks, Doja Cat. I was drinking a vanilla bean frappuccino for the 4th time today because I found out you can get anything free from Starbucks if you make 365 different fake IDs with different birthdays for every day of the year. So each day I go to a different Starbucks and show them my ID and tell them it's my birthday. And they give me a free treat that would usually cost 4 kidneys. But sometimes when I pull up, they tell me they don't do free birthday drinks, but they don't know I know this trick. I actually go dumpster diving after hours where they throw away all the garbage and Starbucks employees that want to form a union. And there's usually 1 or 2 uniforms in there. So I got this one, which had just a little blood stain on it. So whenever they deny me a birthday drink, I simply rip my jacket off and show them my employee uniform. And then they just let me go make whatever I want for myself for free. And it almost always works, but when it doesn't, and they say we've literally never seen you at this location before, why do you have blood on your uniforms? I stay calm because I remember they don't know I know this trick. I put on a little mask and say, okay, this is a fucking robbery! I was enjoying some olives and yogurt when a piece of paper slipped through my mail slot. And when I went to go check it, a huge box flew through the slot and hit me in the head. That's when I remembered I ordered this game called Incoherent from Amazon at like 2 a.m. But nevertheless, I was so excited to play it. But I realized I don't have any friends around me to play with. So I decided to call some of my besties instead. I dialed the number and I was like, hey bestie, and they said, this is Taco Bell. So I was like, okay, first round, neck key Minaj.
Please don't call this number again.
And I said, no silly, it's Nicki Minaj. What about pressed feet Tin?
Yeah, we're taking your phone number to the police.
And I was like, no, it's breastfeeding, duh. The police are really cool. I just wanted to quickly pop on here and remind y'all that I am a psychic.
Will be a BTS burger. I can see them making some sort of food item, like the Travis Scott burger, but the BTS burger, or at least some food-related item that everyone can get.
And you know what McDonald's just posted? I'm a psychic. Today I texted my crush that I love her and want a relationship, and I felt like throwing up until she replied with, "I'm in Lisbon." And then she sent the, Portuguese flag, I think. I don't know, I'm not good at geometry. But anyways, I wanted to surprise her, so I booked the next ticket to Lisbon, Portugal. So I packed up my stuff and went to the airport, and it was a 30-hour journey, but it was in the name of love. And when I landed, I realized I should probably get her something as a gift, so I walked into a store and came across these very interesting frozen feet in the freezer section, and I thought, who would want to suck on feet? Oh, me. So I bought them, and opened up the box and ate every last foot. And they tasted like strawberries. I don't know why I was expecting foot flavor. Not that that's what I wanted, but anyways, I got the bright idea to take all the popsicle sticks and make a little fun DIY bracelet out of them with hearts on it. So I did just that, and then the next day, I was gonna give my crush the bracelet. So I went to DM her and asked her to meet up and realized she said I'm a lesbian. I'm a lesbian. I wanted to go to Chili's today, but it was burning down, so instead, I went to go get sushi. But it was one of those places where it comes on a conveyor belt and you can take what you want, except for this piece of shrimp that refused to cooperate and wouldn't release. But it's okay, because they also have a screen you can order from, so I ordered myself some crispy rice, and it zoomed by faster than I could say, "No, officer, I had nothing to do with the Chili's burning down." Anyways, then I saw these nasty cubes that look like Minecraft gravel, and I lost my appetite. So I put all the plates down the chute since I was done with them, when I wondered, what's actually in there? And it said, please don't insert hands or objects, but what did I do? Hit record on my phone and insert it into the slot, which was really smart because then I dropped it down into the chute and had to call over a waiter in shame, and he told me that non-plate items go out the garbage chute around back. So I went down this creepy corridor and finally found it, and when I grabbed my phone and sat down to check what footage I had recorded, I saw... I was scrolling through Tinder because the last person I met was when I was at the Apple store and came across some girl's number that she left on an iPad. So I took it and went home and tried texting it and just said hi, and then she replied asking if she could come over for some eggplant. And I panicked because I've never cooked eggplant before. But I remembered I could make eggplant parmesan, so I was looking for recipes on Google when I realized I accidentally typed in eggplant permission. Anyways, she said she was 30 minutes away, and I ended up running to the grocery store to buy some eggplant. So I grabbed some eggplants, and then I needed the parmesan. So I went up to this giant wheel of parmesan they had, but I couldn't lift it, so I just got a little piece. Anyways, I went home and chopped up the eggplant and dropped some on the ground, but I used the 5-minute rule because I'm half white. And I put it in the pan, and then I added some cheese and was gonna bake it when I found a spider in my oven. So I baked that instead until he was nice and crispy, and then I threw the eggplant in, and it was finally ready. So I sent her a picture of the eggplant parmesan and said, "You ready for this eggplant?" But then all of a sudden my texts to her were green, and I heard tires screeching outside. Anyways, now I'm back on Tinder, so if anyone wants a serving of eggplant parmesan, make sure you match with. So I was watching my local 7-Eleven burn down today when I saw a shirt or something in the bushes. And when I walked over, I saw it was a Walmart employee uniform that someone just left there. So I decided to try it on, even though it had a stain on it that looked like, milk. But that's when I got the idea to go to Walmart and see how long it would take them to notice that I don't work there. And I was just walking around in Walmart as a fellow employee. So the first thing I did was give myself a good employee discount on a few things I found. And then I was looking for something to do when I saw the phone for announcements just sitting there. And I was super nervous, but I picked it up and said, "Attention shoppers, everything is free for the next hour." And then I hung up and panicked and tried to find a getaway, and I saw the employees only area. So I went inside and it led me to an elevator, which eventually led me out the main entrance. And when I finally made it out of there, the security was outside with its flashing lights. So I quickly took off my uniform, threw it in the bushes, and ran. So I was completely legally watching a movie today when I won an iPhone 13. And all I had to do was enter my social security number, so I typed it in. And then a week later, while I was blending my candles together to make a mega candle, I got a notification that a package was delivered. So I ran downstairs to grab it, and the packaging was a little strange, but I cracked open the box, which apparently was for the iPhone 14. And then when I opened up that box, they had sent me a toy car. And I was like, I know I didn't just give away my identity for a Hot Wheel. And then I realized it's actually a phone. So I decided to hang up on the 911 operator that I had panic called, and I checked out my new phone, and it was pretty cool until I realized it was a used phone. And I think the previous owner was someone's grandma, because I saw in her text she wasn't just having booty calls, but a whole booty conference. Now, I didn't want this phone anymore after going into the images and seeing Granny's Milkies, so I picked it up one last time and checked her contact section and noticed she had her address on there. So I grabbed the phone and biked over to her house, which happened to be only an hour away. And when I got there, Granny is on her Jeff Bezos type beat. So I decided to put my name in her contacts, and then I threw the phone over the fence, and I'll let you know if I slide. Bro, what was that? What are you doing?
I don't know. I just thought it'd be kind of cool, I guess.
Don't do that. That's really freaking weird.
I'm sorry. I just thought, like...
I don't know why, like, out of all things you could do, you do that. Like, what is that?
Okay, I just wanted to show I liked it. Okay.
What, by hitting yourself? This is the stupidest thing ever.
Okay, I'm sorry. Next time I'll just throw my poop like usual when I'm excited.
Wait, hold on 1 second. Alright, peace. That was my wife, and she was wondering if you wanted to eat some dinosaur tonight.
Oh, word?
Alright, let's go.
Today, I snuck an AirTag tracking device into an Ed Sheeran concert so that I could somehow stick it onto him to track him down, because that's for the FBI to know. Anyways, randomly BTS opened for him, and then Eddie was about to come on stage, so I had the genius idea to use an extra mask and fashion it into a slingshot so that when he performed, I walked up to the front of the stage, locked onto my target, and bam! It flew through the air, and now I know there's no way of it sticking to him. However, they have to pack up the stage, and it's probably gonna travel with him. So anyways, I saw Doja Cat and Lil Nas X, and then left the concert and went home. Then the next morning, I was getting a reading on the AirTag finder, and it said that he was in Las Vegas. So I flew to Las Vegas, and when I got to the airport, I thought I had already found him, but the thing is, I had a little bit of spicy grape juice on the plane, so I stumbled over to the man and shouted, "Ed!" And it was just a random man. So, yeah. I was enjoying some banana on the cob when I realized lockdown is over here. So I got in the car, hit the gas, and drove to the closest thrift store, and I went thrifting. When I walked in the thrift store, I passed by the toy aisle, and there was a doll on the bottom shelf playing this really creepy song. And I know some dolls are cursed, but it's only $2, and the demon can keep me company, so I bought it. My mask is falling. Anyways, I brought it home, but when I looked at it again, I noticed there was a note attached to the bottom that read, "Make a wish or you'll float too!" And I thought, that's Pennywise's line. This doll's gonna get sued for copying the movie It before it possesses me. But I do be scared of demons though. So I wished for the first thing that I could think of, which was an air fryer. Then after making my wish, I went to bed. I woke up the next morning to the birds chirping, the sunshine, and 300-pound air fryer on my chest, crushing me to the point where I couldn't breathe. I finally got it off and thought, you know what, Mr. Demon? Thank you for the air fryer. It's not exactly how Amazon would have delivered it, but I like your vision. Then I realized I have another wish left. I was thinking, what do I want more of? Some fire shoes. So I said, I want some fire. You want fire? No. Today I went to the movie theater an hour early because I'm half Caucasian and I wanted to see the new Spider-Man for the 30th time. But when I sat down, I noticed that they had QR codes for their overpriced food menus. So I got the intrusive thought to quickly run home and change all the QR codes to moaning sounds. So when I got home, I designed a bunch of fake stickers and printed them off with QR codes so when you scan them, they play this. Anyways, I grabbed the stickers and drove back to the theater and stuck them over the top of the original ones. And as people trickled into the theater and the movie started, and they started scanning the codes for the menu, I suddenly began to hear... And then people would quickly hide their phones and try and turn it off. And it got to the point where they had to stop the movie. So anyways, I left and went for sushi. And when I got there and sat at the table, I noticed that this restaurant also has QR codes for their menu. And I had some stickers left over, so I carefully placed them on top of the old QR codes. And then I looked back at the dude behind me as he scanned his, and... Anyways, my sushi was very delicious, 9 out of 10. Have you ever noticed how almost every label has these weird dots and color codes? These are on everything from pudding boxes to taco seasoning packets. They're on granola bar boxes and they're even on chocolate chip bags. Even my delicious cottage cheese has it too. I thought to myself, what do they mean? So I've spent the past month researching it, trying to crack the code. My first thoughts were that it had to do with the colors, so I wrote down 2 codes from 2 packages down. But then my marker died, so I killed it. Then I colored in the shapes to match the secret code, but I didn't find anything, so I ripped it up. That's when I realized it's not a color puzzle, it's a crossword puzzle. The code always appears in either 4 or 6 circles or squares. So I wrote it out again and I knew exactly what filled the spaces this time. Debbie Ryan. If you don't believe me, here's her with pistachio pudding, has the code. Here's chocolate chip cookies on her Snap story. Chocolate chips have the code. And finally, here's her with a granola bar. The granola bar has the code. Why would she do this? What if she's trying to brainwash all of us by placing these subtle codes so she can take over our brains and... Today, I DoorDashed some cooked goldfish from PetSmart because I was really hungry and they were only $3. So I placed the order and walked over to PetSmart to pick it up. But when I got there, I walked in and found the food pickup section and saw all the soon-to-be sushi swimming around in their little tanks that were right next to the not-so-swimming sushi. And that's when I realized maybe pet store food isn't the best move. But I was still super hungry, so I asked an employee if they have anything else to eat. But she told me if I want to act picky, they have rats for sale. So I opened up the rat fridge and... I couldn't do it. So I ended up buying some bugs for like $2, which was such a great and amazing deal. And when I got home, I was so hungry that I ripped open the bag of bugs and just told myself that this little grasshopper in my chopsticks is a Cheeto. So I popped it in my mouth and I felt movement. And I spat it out and it jumped out of the bowl! And I panicked and ran to the toilet. For the next 3 hours, I vomited up my insides. So I bought this doggy camera to spy on my little worm creature, and when I was checking the cameras today, I saw that when she comes through her doggy door, a literal rat has been following her in. And not only that, I caught them canoodling, and I had to shoot a tree at her to break them up so I could go rescue her from Remy the rat in my house not paying rent. Anyways, I was horrified, and ever since, she's been giving me, rabies vibes, the way she's been kind of foaming at the mouth and trying to bite me. So I took her to a discount vet clinic at the back of a dollar store, and they weighed her little fat butt and then put her on the table. And I told them I think she has rabies, and that's when they pulled out 3 humongous needles. And then they took her into the back rooms, and I'm not an anti-vax or anything, but she was screaming so much I was like, bring my girl back. And I grabbed her and brought her home, and now she just has a little bit of rabies, but it's fine because she just likes to give me love bites.
Remember on New Year's Eve when we were all excited for 2020 to start, and then World War II almost started, and we were like, okay, that's the worst thing that's gonna happen this year. And then Australia walked in and said, you know what? I am gonna light on fire. And then immediately after that, we lost Kobe. And we're like, okay, that's enough for this year. But it wasn't, because then someone coughed. And the next thing you know, 6 million people were coughing. And then anything that ever brought anyone joy was canceled. And then after that, we were like, okay, this is too much. I would like to go to bed for the rest of the year. And then boom, murder hornets arrive in North America. Oh, what's that? That's just NASA discovering alternate universes that apparently exist now. And that thing in the sky? Oh yeah, that's an asteroid that almost wiped out humanity. Which at this point wouldn't be a bad thing. Oh yeah, the government also confirmed that they found UFOs, you know, as a little treat. And the year isn't even done yet. It's literally June. Like, what's gonna happen now? If you want to see my accurate prediction of what's gonna happen the rest of the year, the link to the YouTube video is in my bio.
I was putting my clothes in the dishwasher today because I broke my washing machine when I tried washing dishes in it last week because my dishwasher was broken in the first place. But anyways, I was in the kitchen and heard a snowball hit my window, and when I looked out the window, my elderly neighbor Myrtle had put up a sign that said, check your mail. Now, as threatening as that seemed, I was so excited because her son owns the website where you watch Corn with a P, and in the past, she's given me like $1,000 at Christmas and a cute little picture of herself. So I went to the door and grabbed the card, and when I opened it, I noticed that this time there was no gift, which is fine and all, but also the picture she had sent me had some man's hand in the corner, and on the card there was weird capitalization, so I highlighted the capital letters and it spelled help me, and I started freaking out. So I drove over to her house, which was 50 feet away. Sorry, Greta Thunberg. And I was gonna save her from being choked, but when I got there was a van outside that said 50 Shades of Play, and I think that's what Myrtle's into. So now I'm traumatized.
I woke up this morning after having a nightmare where Zombie Shawn Mendes and Zombie Camila Caboo were trying to eat me. I woke up terrified and reached for my water bottle full of Red Bull, but when I looked at my hand, there was like some spot that I'd never seen before. I quickly searched to see what it was, and it said that it was cancer, but like, I'm a Virgo, so that made no sense. Anyways, I was still a little bit spooked, so I sent a picture of it to my doctor, and then I carried on with my day, which was watching 3 seasons of one show and then playing 47 games of Fortnite until 6 a.m. But the next morning I woke up and it was like itchy and bubbling, and I was like, okay, this is a demon. And just then I got a text from my doctor, and he was like, did you mean to send me a Roblox meme? And I was like, oopsie. So I sent him the actual picture and went back to bed. But when I woke up, there was like 30 more, and I was like, ah, and I started crying, and they were on my face too, and my doctor texted me that they were a flesh-eating insect, and I cried some more until one fell in my mouth. And it had a little crunch, and honestly, it kind of tasted like bacon. So like, I ate a few more, and next thing you know, I'm spooning these bugs in my mouth like it's Lucky Charms cereal.
Do you ever wonder how it went down for the first person to ever get their ear pierced? Like, how did that happen? Was it just like,
What the booga booga?
Feel like a new piercing? Look, we're matching.
What the hell is a piercing? This is a stabbing.
No, bitch, you god. This is gonna be the next biggest thing in Pangea.
Okay, sure, but why my ear? Why not literally any other part of my body?
Ooga booga, what do you do?
Oh my god, that's literally worse.
Wait, do you want one too?
What?
Today, I was sick of feeling lazy, so I went on the treadmill, walked 3 steps, and then got off. But as I was folding it up, my anemia hit, and I couldn't hold the treadmill anymore, and it collapsed on me. When I woke up, my arm was trapped underneath the metal, and I couldn't get out. My dog is too stupid to help me, and I couldn't even call for help because my phone was just out of reach, and I turned Siri off because last time I used her, well...
Hey Siri, call Wendy's.
Killing Wendy.
No. The only thing within reach was a Minion figurine and a fork with a grape on it. First I ate the grape because like, grapes are delicious. But then it hit me what needed to be done. I put the Minion in my mouth so that I wouldn't scream. Then I grabbed the plastic fork and I took my arm off. Wait, does that say emergency release latch? As in like, I did not have to sever my arm. I did not need to cut off my arm.
I woke up today and decided to go to Claire's to get my ear pierced because I saw they're doing it free if you give them your organs. So I walked in and I picked my piercing and then signed away the rights to my kidneys. And then they marked the ear that I wanted pierced and then boom, they legally stabbed me. But anyways, I went home and I was so excited to take off my mask and see it, and they had pierced the mask string into my ear hole. And I started freaking out, of course, and needed to get it off. So I tried finding pliers or something, but I grabbed scissors and used them to cut the mask off so it doesn't rip my ear off. And then I looked in the mirror and I thought maybe it looks cool, but it didn't. So I grabbed my computer to try and find the Claire's customer service line so I can sue them. But they closed at 6 p.m. and it was 6:30. So I went to bed and cried myself to sleep. And when I woke up, oh, it was infected. So now I think my ear is gonna fall off in 2 to 5 business days. So please let me know what music I should listen to before I have one ear left. I don't know if you've seen those comments on TikTok of beautiful women asking if there are any boys here, but today I remembered I am a boy, so I decided to investigate and saw that she was asking me to go to her bio. So I clicked the link in her bio and it instantly froze my iPad and I couldn't close the app or anything until a thing popped up asking for my phone number and credit card number to fix it. And so obviously I was like, thank God, a solution. So I grabbed my credit card from my wallet and typed it in, but then after I did that, my iPad fully shut off and started smoking. But I was like, okay, thank God they reminded me what my credit card number is. So I went to the Apple store to go replace all my Apple products that are now fried, but I got distracted and tried to make the wallpapers minions kissing, and I played some random rats dancing on all the iPhones. But then an employee yelled at me, so I fled with no iPhone, and now I'm trying to catch a bird so I can use it as a carrier pigeon to talk to people since I have no electronic devices left.
I was seeing how many oranges I could fit in my mouth before throwing up when my doorbell rang. I wasn't expecting anyone, and when I answered it, there was no one there, just a notebook. It was kind of creepy, but when I opened it, I realized it was for my horse girl cousin Gretchen, and she'd drawn me, Peppa Pig? I thought I'd draw her something back, so I made, 2 minions in love, and I left it in the same place for her. The next morning, the doorbell rang again, and I opened it to find another Peppa, so I took the liberty of drawing Rainy Rodriguez as my sleep paralysis demon, and put it back the same place as yesterday. However, the next day I received something completely different. When I opened the sketchbook, Peppa had turned into bacon? Is this a threat? I texted her, haha, very funny, Gretchen, stop coming to my house. And she was like, what? And so I replied, Peppa time is canceled, Gretchen. And she replied, I don't know what you're talking about. So, knowing that wasn't Gretchen the whole time, I felt completely terrified, so I watched some seafood ASMR eating and fell asleep. I woke up to my leg burning from my laptop. My hand kind of felt weird, and I noticed I was covered in bacon. Anyways, now I'm completely terrified, and I don't know what to draw in return. Please help. So I was using the gibberish filter when something really weird happened. Okay, here we go. I am in yo house BenOfTheWeek. What does that mean? And I was like, that's a little bit weird. And then my power went out. I was sitting in complete darkness except for a line of text that lit up on my computer that said, I'm right in front of you. I thought, am I being hacked? So I grabbed my phone and opened up Wattpad and deleted all my Harry Styles fanfics I've been writing since I was in middle school. But then the hacker said, I think I love you. So I told him, I don't think it's gonna work out. And the hacker replied, if I can't have you, the world can have this. And he had leaked all of my Harry Styles fanfics from when I was 12.
Harry Styles grabs your neck and whispers in your ear.
I have One Direction, but without the D in direction, if you know what I mean. Today I'm giving $100 and a love letter to random Taco Bell employees. But wait, why? Yesterday, as I was eating my yummalicious burrito, I thought, these employees deserve recognition for creating the beautiful creation that is this burrito. So I drove home, pulled out some markers, and decided to write a letter of appreciation to them. I basically told them I love them and I would die for them in an instant. And then I signed my name and put some hearts and tacos on it because I love tacos. I folded the letter and got in the car and headed over to the bank. I took out $100 as a little extra thank you for the card, and then I got nervous. But then I finally pulled up to Taco Bell.
What can I get for you?
Hi there, could I just get one bean burrito, please?
Anything else?
No, that's it.
Okay,
Hi. So I just wanted to give y'all a tip, because I know it's like, really crazy, like, having to deal with Corona and everything. We're out of time on TikTok, but the link to their reaction is in my bio. So there was this guy on the train today who offered me 100 bananas if I gave him a foot massage with mustard. I didn't do it, obviously, and I'll take a lie detector test to prove it. Okay, I did not give a foot massage to a random person. No! You're gonna give me the bananas,